internet is always.
Just kidding. You're up. Go ahead. What were you saying?
So we've been using the NeuroTools for a couple of months. I think it takes a while for like your brain to get the proper rewiring, let's call it. And what happened this month, I've been hitting the pool consistently, I think for the last 3 or 4 months. And then this month, I enrolled someone at the beginning and then like nothing was happening. I was getting like crickets. And it's so easy to go back to your old thinking, right? Of, oh, people don't want to talk to you, whatever we say. And I was like, no, stop it, stop it, stop it. So I was able to pivot so quickly. And so then I enrolled 2 people. And then again, it was like 3 days ago. I'm like, oh, it's getting the end of the month. I'm not going to make the pool this month. Bummer. And I was like, no, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'm always going back to where Bev says, like, this is easy. Stop. I love the NeuroTool that I'm listen to now every night before I go to bed is Breathe, Focus, Flow. And it says, let go of struggle, like just let it go. This is not a struggle. This is just happening. I don't remember the exact words, so I got to listen some more. But so 3 days ago, it was the day before yesterday, while on PowerHour, I get this call from this lady that used to be a customer. And I answer the phone like, hey, Nancy, how are you? She says, I need to get on that NRF2 stuff right away. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So she got back on it, placed a huge order. And I was like, wow, like now I'm more than halfway there. And then out of the blue, because of a post that I did on Facebook, it's a friend from people that we love in Venezuela. This girl lives in Qatar. She sees a post that I did about my son's eyes and calls her aunt is my godmother and says, Andres, who's his brother, needs to talk to Lilianne. She just did a post or something about that. It turns this person has some weird eye disease. It's a genetic thing, and he's super interested. And I call him. He says, like, I've been looking for the NRF2 stuff. It's so interesting. I'm so open to anything that can improve my eyesight. And I'm like, okay, here we go. So boom, he plays another huge order. Now I'm like 17 points from the pool. And I'm like, oh my God, there's 2 days left. And I'm looking and I'm trying to reach out and following up. And then boom, all of a sudden I get this text on my phone, which is one of my students says, I finally looked at that information you sent him. I'm interested. How do I get it? And I'm like, yay. So I'm like, okay, it's easy. It's easy. It has to be easy. So yes, let go of struggle. Like this, we need to get in this flow where we're attracting the people because we're not in this needy state of like, oh, I need to get one more person. I just literally said, okay, universe, it needs to happen, like 17 freaking points, like just send them. And boom, this lady got a bundle of 3. So I'm just so happy that you introduced us to Deb, Seth, and your leadership is just amazing. And just being able to do these quick shifts of, no, stop it, it's going to happen. It just makes a world of a difference. And I'm just so happy. I'm like, okay, you need to stay on this state like forever, like don't go back. And we all do that, right? Because, life gets in the way, whatever. But I think the more we stay on this positive and the more that we're able to shift quickly, I think miracles are going to happen. And 2022 is going to be the breakthrough year for everyone on CEO. So thank you.
I want to add to that. Did everybody notice how Lilianne clapped? And it's like I've been snapping whenever I'm pivoting. I'm like, remember, like last night I said, if I can do that, I can do this. And I'm seeing that Lilianne is clap. It's like, that is like, okay, brain, stop. We're going this way. I see that. And I love that. Thank you, Lilianne. Back to you, Seth.
That's hugely powerful. And one thing you talked about, Lilianne, was patterns. I don't think you used the word, but you described patterns. And we are all in a pattern. That's your set point, right? And it can be easy to go back to those because they're familiar and because they're worn trails in our life. We've put miles, in our shoes and in our brain. right? Neurons that fire together are wired together, right? And so it can be easy to go back to those. At the same time, it can be easy to stay on the new pattern, and the longer you stay in the new flow, right? The easier it is. Once you do it once, you've done it, so you can go back. But once you've done it, you talk about this build-up time to get these NeuroTools. NeuroTools for me have had an immediate effect in changing me in that moment. But I've had to do them over and over and over to make them patterns, right? And to make them predictable, to get up every day and say, I'm the boss. I am the CEO of my health, my life, my finances, my bank account, my happiness. And so you do have a choice. And I think what we're doing is we all have we have the tools in our hands to create new patterns. And then we have a choice of where to go. We might not have been happy in the old patterns, but we didn't know, you didn't know what you didn't know. So I think that's just a great insight. Thank you so much for sharing. We're going to put this out so that you can hear it. Hope you are all listening to your NeuroTools, and congratulations on hitting the pool. That's very, very, very exciting. I hope you all listen to how to, dreaming your way to Pro 3. That tool, from a LifeVantage standpoint, from your LifeVantage business standpoint, there's so much neuroscience in that tool, and it's drawn from other tools. For you and your business, I don't know that I can think of one more necessary tool than the Dreaming Your Way to Pro 3 tool. And here's why. Because every single person in your team, wherever they're going in their LifeVantage journey as a leader, needs to go through Pro 3. So it is like the gateway. The Pro 10 tool will not be more important than the Pro 3 tool, because we will have millions upon millions upon millions of listens to that Pro 3 tool. So make sure that you're listening to it. I listened to it yesterday. I'll be listening to it today. Why? Because in order to build new legs, which is my goal for 2022, 2 new Pro legs, okay, that currently aren't Pro 8, I've got to build Pro 3s. I've got to be a new Pro 3, right? So I hope, you wear that track out. I hope you wear the Pro 3 track out. I hope you wear out 10 pairs of headphones listening to Dreaming Your Way to Pro 3. So I will see you.